StreamYard.com.
Okay, students, today's our task is to complete the atomic structure in one shot. Okay, so this is applicable for those students, those who have already gone through the topic wise, those who have already gone through the topic wise atomic structure, and due to lack of time, if you wanted to complete the entire atomic structure revise in a short span of time, for them this lecture is going to be a very ideal. Okay, so it is ideal revision. All of you should make sure that this is for revision. This is ideal for the revision of the IIT. Okay, for IIT exams, and also for the NEET exams, and also for the KVPY, and also for the Olympiads. Okay. So initially I will be taking some points regarding the state level exams like MSET. Okay. MSET, KSET. So some initially I will be covering the points regarding the MSET and KSET. Okay. Then slowly we will be raising our level to IIT, NEET, KVPY and Olympiads also. Okay. So starting, if you are preparing for IIT, you may feel that the level of the topic is very less, but small topics sometimes creates a lot of problem. So you cannot neglect any portion in the chemistry. Okay. As we have seen this time, advanced examination questions also, people are doing small mistakes due to which there's selection criteria is lost. During their studies, they neglected the small things. So that small things affected a lot. This was the review shown by the students after getting result, not before the result. Okay. So before result, everybody was feeling that the chemistry was very easy. But due to small, minor, silly mistakes, they lost their choice. Okay, they lost their seat. Understood? So those who are about to get the seat in the first round of counseling, now they are waiting for third or fourth round of counseling. Okay. So let us start with the atomic structure. The fundamental particles. The fundamental particles available in any atom according to atomic structure. According to nuclear structure, there are many particles like positron, antiproton. Okay. So like that they are there. That's why I am telling you fundamental particles according to this chapter. Okay. According to this chapter, there are only three fundamental particles. If somewhere you study some else, don't think that they are advanced level and this is simple level. No. Okay. According to atomic structure, there are only three particles: electron, proton and neutron. Okay. So there are no chances that they may ask the questions regarding the who discovered. Still they are asking, still there is a confusion. J. Thomson discovered or Crookes discovered, because work was done by the Crookes, but name came out from the J. Thomson. Okay. Proton Goldstein and neutron will be neutron was by the Chadwick. There is no problem with the discovery of the neutron. There is no problem with the discovery of proton. Still, rival problem is with the electrons only. Okay. Some book says Crookes done his most of the work, therefore it should be on the Crookes name. But some book says finally it is published by the J. Thomson, so it is of the J. Thomson. Okay. So let us start with the values. Okay, now these are the fundamental particles values. Listen very carefully, don't neglect this table. This already we know. But still people are doing mistakes on the places where known unintentionally they are doing mistakes, and there is a way of studying from the NCRT. Okay, this table is from the NCRT only, but just because they are not aware how to study, they are losing their marks. Okay, so here let us take about the few properties of the three fundamental particles. What are the three fundamental particles? They are electron, neutron, proton, and their properties we are going to study. Comparative study of the fundamental particles properties like atomic mass, sorry, mass and charge. Again they are divided into two types. First thing is called as a absolute mass, second thing is called as a relative mass, and charge is also absolute charge, and further charge is divided units wise two types. They are coulombs and ESU. These are the relative absolute charge, and there is another unit, relative charge. Okay, so before answering, don't forget to, because nowadays we are seeing integer type also negative marking is there. Okay, so this was not important for the previous one. Now this time if it is conducted by the Kharagpur, IIT Kharagpur is going to conduct the 2021 advanced examination. What new things will come into picture, nobody knows. Okay, so we can only guess by the experience of the faculty thinking in the IIT Kharagpur, but we cannot exactly say it until unless paper comes out in black and white. Okay, so here charge is given in the coulombs and ESU. This is absolute value. So before answering, you should go for the significant figures also and decimal places also. You have to make sure. Okay, so absolute mass means without comparing with anything. Electron mass is 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg, and proton mass is 1.6726 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. And same, see, people think that proton mass is same as a neutron, but arrangement, if the increasing order of neutron are fundamental particles, then what you will keep it first? Neutron will be more here, 6 7, after that 4 9. Okay, mass of neutrons minor greater than, because already we are taking the third decimal place, and it is with the 10 to the power of minus 27. Okay, so most of the places we take mass of the neutron as proton, but frankly speaking, exactly speaking, neutron mass is more than the proton mass. Okay, so this is the increasing order of masses, and this is going to be effective when you find out the a topic called as de Broglie wavelength. Okay, so de Broglie wavelength, lambda is the inversely proportional to momentum, where mass we have to consider here. Okay, that's why these things are neglected in the initially, thinking that these are all very small. Nowadays this question will not come as it is. They may not come, but they will be linked up with the some other advanced topics. That's why don't neglect any topic. Okay, so next here also you can confirm AMU, atomic mass unit, 1.00727, 1.00866. Understood? And charge is exactly same in terms of the coulombs. 1.6 people go and study, but after that 1.60210 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs, and electrostatic unit ESU, it is 4.8029 into 10 to the power of minus 10 ESU. Okay, relative charge of proton and electron exactly same. There is no difference at all, and there is no charge in the neutron. Okay, but when you compare the relative charge of the electron, so it is taken as how much? Minus 1. It is taken as minus 1. Okay, relative charge of electron is minus 1, proton is plus 1, neutron is 0. Okay, just make a note of it. Okay, next is specific charge. Specific charge also called as a E by M ratio. Okay, electron mass is already I told you 9.5 some 9 point E by M ratio. It is electron charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19, and by considering E by M ratio by charge as, then you will get 9.58 into 10 to the power of 4. E by M ratio will be 9.58 into 10 to the power of 4. Okay. Okay. Next, coming to the wave characteristics. From here also we are expecting more marks, but not on the direct steps. Okay. Wave characteristics are further divided into few types. It is my request that don't forget to start from the basics. We will be doing questions from the advanced level, but there you will be using these properties only. Okay. First one is wavelength. What is the first one? Wavelength. Second one is amplitude. Second one is amplitude. And third property we are going to find out is velocity. Velocity. Okay. Next one is frequency. Next one is what? Frequency. And next one is time period. Okay, time period. And last one is wave number. What is the last one? Wave number. These are the six characteristics of a wave. Okay. So in short, I am going to tell you whatever the required things, that only I am going to tell you. Okay. Wavelength is denoted with lambda, amplitude denoted with A, velocity. If it is electromagnetic wave, C. If any other wave, then we will use V. Okay. Frequency is with nu. Time period is with tau. Okay. And wave number is denoted with nu bar. Okay. And it is the distance between. Definition part I am writing here. Definition of the wavelength is distance between two crests, distance between two consecutive crests. Okay. So once there was a examination where they did not use consecutive word. Because of that, entire meaning will be different. Okay. Distance between two consecutive crests are trough. The distance between two consecutive crests are trough. Otherwise, sum of the length of crest or trough. Okay. You can take one crest, one trough also okay. Or distance from the starting of crest to crest is also okay. Distance between trough to trough is also okay. Okay. Now this is the distance. Therefore, what we will use, units we will use: picometer, nanometer, micrometer. Okay, then angstrom. Angstrom is entirely different. All will be changing by the 10 to the power of minus 3 only. Okay. Next, amplitude. Amplitude is the height of the crest. What is amplitude? Height of the crest. Otherwise, depth of the trough. Amplitude is height of the crest or depth of the trough. Depth of the trough. Okay. So height of the crest or depth of the trough. Understood? Let it be height, let it be depth, let it be distance. The units are going to be same. Okay. The amplitude is also defined as maximum displacement. It is defined as maximum displacement. Maximum displacement from the original path. From the original path. From the original path. Okay. Next. Next is the velocity, simple definition. So there should not be any problem in the definition of the velocity. Okay, velocity is the distance traveled by, here it is the distance traveled by wave. It is the velocity is the distance traveled by distance distance traveled distance traveled by a wave in 1 unit distance, 1 unit time. Okay, distance traveled by a wave in 1 unit time. Here unit of time can be anything, okay, and distance also can be anything. 1 unit time, okay. Next, frequency. Next is about the frequency. So frequency is number of waves. Frequency is number of waves passing through a point, in 1 second. Normally we will take 1 second, but it is not sure that it is not compulsory that it should be 1 second only. Okay. Then time period. Time period is just reciprocal of time period is reciprocal of frequency. Okay. Reciprocal of what? Frequency. So next to work wave number. Wave number is simply reciprocal of wavelength. Okay. So I am writing with the units. Now all units I am writing it here. So all of you should take care. Okay. So here amplitude units, wavelength unit, both are same. So there should not be any problem with the conversion. Velocity, if you are taking in the MKS form, meter per second. Okay. In the MKS form, it is meter per second. And frequency, it will be second inverse. And time period will be in the seconds, because 1 upon second inverse is second. And it will be whatever the units we use. Like if we use in wavelength picometer, it is going to be picometer inverse. It is going to be nanometer inverse. It is going to be micrometer inverse. Okay. Like that, the whatever the units of wave number, they are only going to be reciprocated for the wavelength, and wavelength units are reciprocated for the wave number. Okay. Is it understood? Okay, now let's go for the next screen. Okay, next electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, here we say electromagnetic. East and electrical wave and magnetic wave, there will be three components. There will be how many components? Three components will be there. First one is direction of propagation. This green color shows the direction of propagation. Okay. Red color shows the magnetic wave. Blue color shows the electrical wave. All of them are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So let us take this as a three-dimensional. If this is the direction of propagation and this is the vertically up blue color line, this is the horizontal, that is red color. That is why it is called as a electromagnetic. Two waves will be there and they both are perpendicular to each other. Not only perpendicular to each other, but also perpendicular to direction of propagation. Okay. So this is about the electromagnetic waves. Now there are plenty of the waves, so they need to be studied in a systematic manner. For easy and systematic manner, they have to be arranged first. Okay. So that arrangement is called as a spectrum. Spectrum is not only applicable for electromagnetic wave, it is applicable everywhere. When you arrange the things in a systematic manner, in the increasing order of something, decreasing order of something, then it is called as a spectrum. Here we are arranging the electromagnetic wave. That's why this is called as a electromagnetic spectrum. As I told you, every wave possesses few characteristics, but out of them, most important two characteristics are wavelength and frequency. And velocity of electromagnetic wave is constant. So to keep constant velocity, their frequency and wavelength will vary inversely. C is equal to nu lambda. Okay. So here both are inverse proportional. If I say this is arrangement in the increasing order of wavelength, here these are arranged in the increasing order of wavelength. If we are assuming that these are arranged in the increasing order of wavelength, okay, but we can also say same thing, but in terms of what, decreasing order of frequency, okay, increasing order of wavelength or decreasing order of frequency. And according to Planck's theory, electromagnetic wave have some energy and frequency, energy which is directly proportional to frequency. Therefore, we can write it as a E is equal to h nu, or we can also write it as E is equal to hc upon lambda. So once we say here, with these two relation, we can say that wavelength is inversely proportional to energy. With these two, we can say that energy is inverse proportional, direct proportional to frequency. These two says that energy directly proportional to frequency. These two says that energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. Okay. So here it is increasing wavelength and decreasing frequency. Energy variation, frequency variation parallel to each other. Decreasing order of frequency means decreasing order. Okay. Decreasing order of, very important question I am going to cover. So don't miss any single word. Okay. Decreasing order of energy. Energy variation, frequency variation, both are parallel, unidirectional. But wavelength variation and energy variation are opposite variation. If one increases, another will decrease. Okay. Now let us see how the questions will be there. Okay. So let us take cosmic ray. Okay. What are the specialities of cosmic ray? Cosmic ray specialities we can explain in three terms. In how many terms we can explain? We can explain in three terms. Increasing order of wavelength. So it is yet to increase. Wavelength is not yet increased. It is going to increase. So the cosmic rays have lowest wavelength. Okay. If question is which electromagnetic waves have the lowest wavelength, cosmic. Okay. And see here, decreasing order of frequency, that means after this frequency will keep on decreases. Therefore it has the highest, what it have, highest frequency. And as I told you, energy and frequency both are directly proportional. So it is going to have highest energy also. Okay. Cosmic ray speciality, highest energy, highest frequency, and lowest wavelength. Okay. So now let us just make it opposite regarding the radio waves. These are what? Radio waves. Okay. So whatever the properties we have written in the cosmic ray, like lowest wavelength. So these are the highest wavelength. These are the waves of highest wavelength, and these are the waves of lowest frequency. Okay. These are the waves of what? Lowest frequency, and these are the waves of lowest energy, minimum energy. These points we are going to use in the hydrogen spectrum. There indirectly it is used. Okay. Now let us take the visible spectrum. Let us expand the visible spectrum. Visible spectrum when it is expanded. Visible spectrum when it is expanded, it will split into the seven colors. Okay. Now more energetic waves. If question is more energetic color, then people think that red color, but here it says lowest energy is on the right side. Okay. So red color properties are similar to the radio waves in the total electromagnetic wave. Okay. So here red color have the highest, red color have the highest wavelength. Okay. But problem is that they have the lowest frequency. If lowest frequency, it automatically corresponds to lowest energy. Okay. But why we are able to see the red color from the long distance? Because of its higher wavelength. Okay. Next, coming to the this. Okay. Here it is going to have properties similar to the cosmic. So this is having the lowest, this is having the lowest wavelength. Okay. And this is having the lowest frequency. And this is having the energy and frequency both will be same. Lowest, sorry, highest. So lowest wavelength means highest energy and highest frequency. So this is having the highest frequency and highest energy. Okay. So let us take in between also they may ask. Suppose green and orange. Green and orange, which is having higher wavelength. Okay. So higher wavelength will be always on the right side and higher frequency will be on the left side. Higher energy will be on the left side. Okay. Same thing can happen X-ray and microwave, which have the longer wavelength. Then answer must be what? Microwaves will have the longer wavelength. Okay. Note down this, then we will go for the further. Okay, next topic is photoelectric effect. So this is very useful only after studying the electromagnetic wave spectrum. Okay, because it is going to be used here Planck's theory energy relation. According to Planck's theory, there are only two formulas. What is that? E is equal to h nu, E is equal to hc upon lambda, and energy wavelength inversely proportional, energy frequency are directly proportional to each other. Okay. Now let us take a metal. This blue color line shows the metal surface. The best characteristic of the metal surface should be they should have the low ionization energy. So here the metals, before selecting the metal for the photoelectric effect purpose, what we should make sure? We should make sure the ionization energy of the metal should be lowest. The best metal will be according to that cesium. Okay. But cesium being costly metal, so it is rarely used for the photoelectric effect. The best metal after that will be cost effective and best metal will be potassium. Okay. Question will be in the reason assertion. People are not studying the reason assertion, especially those who are appearing for the mains and advanced, but reason assertion questions are nowadays coming in the mains advanced examination also. So this is a recent trend to increase the number of questions from the for each and every shift. That's why reason assertion question also you should go through that. Okay. Now I am selecting a metal preferably having the lowest ionization energy. Okay. Now whatever I am going to draw, that is electromagnetic wave. Okay. Electromagnetic wave is approaching and falling on the surface. Okay. So let us take an atom which is available on the surface. atom will not be this much big, but if I am assuming, okay, and here let us take, this is the electron. This green color dot is electron. Okay. So this electron is pulled two ways. Inside it is called as a nuclear forces. Okay. What is that forces? Nuclear forces. And this wave is giving some energy. So that energy, if it is greater, obviously the electron will come out. Okay. I am assuming that energy given by electromagnetic wave, as it is told by the Planck's theory, E is equal to h nu. Every electromagnetic wave will have some energy. So that energy, if it is more than the energy with which nucleus is attracting, then electron will come out. Okay. So that electron which is coming out now, till the time it is inside this, that is called as a valence electron. As soon as it comes out, okay, this electron is called as photoelectron. Okay, difference between photoelectron and valence electron, I think it is clear now with this diagram. Okay, same electron, if it is available here, this is called as a valence electron. Valence electron is under the influence of nuclear charges, but photoelectron is nowhere in the influence of the nuclear charges. Okay. Now this photoelectron can be moved or can be migrated from one place to another place by giving the sufficient energy. Okay, this is the minimum energy required to bring out that. Okay, so that relation is given by, suppose this is the energy possessed by our electromagnetic wave. Okay, this is the energy required by the metal, minimum energy required by this metal. Okay, if we are exactly providing, then there won't be any energy left over by the electron, so it will stay back. So when given energy is exactly equal to threshold energy, the movement of electron is zero, therefore kinetic energy will be zero. If our given energy is greater than threshold energy, if our given energy is greater than threshold energy, then obviously that extra energy, what is extra energy? Extra energy will be E minus ET. So that will be converted into kinetic energy. Okay. So as a equation form, if you wanted to write, energy of the incident ray is equal to sum of the threshold energy plus kinetic energy with which electron is coming out. Okay. This is the major formula. Okay. Here what is E here? E is the energy possessed by. E is the energy possessed by electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave. E is the energy possessed by electromagnetic wave. Okay. But until unless that energy is not sufficient, not more than the threshold energy, it cannot give out the electron. Okay. Because this is the minimum energy. So sometimes it is also called as threshold energy is also called as threshold energy is also called as critical energy. What it is called as? It is called as a critical energy. Critical energy. Otherwise, it is also called as work function. So don't get confused with this word magic. All are same. Let it be work function, let it be critical energy, let it be threshold energy. All are same. But context of usage is different. Work function is used when energy is in terms of the electron volts. Okay. If the energy is in joules and calories, then we will be using the threshold energy or critical energy. Okay. Now kinetic energy can be written as, can be written as half mv square. Okay. Here people are confusing, mass is not given, how I can solve. This is just common sense. Electron is given here. Okay. So that's why I told you sometimes you have to bear with the basic things. So photoelectron, obviously what you will do, mass of the electron you will substitute. Understood? So kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. This velocity we can find out if you are given with the kinetic energy. Okay. Then another forms. This is the simplest form. If you wanted to modify this, if you wanted to modify this in terms of the, if you wanted to modify this in terms of the wavelength. So by using this formula, here it is energy. Okay. The same thing I am writing, nothing new. E is equal to what I can write, hc upon lambda, and Et is equal to hc upon lambda t, because T is a subscript threshold, therefore and kinetic energy is going to be same. Okay. Now same thing can be expressed in terms of the frequency. So E is equal to h nu, therefore h nu t and plus kinetic energy. Is it understood? Whenever you wanted to find out the kinetic energy, simply what you have to do, you have to subtract the threshold energy from the total given energy. Total given energy minus threshold energy. If it comes out to be positive, then electron emission is a spontaneous. Otherwise, it is non-spontaneous. Okay. And one more thing here, kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, if they are asking velocity, you can find out by using the half mv square. Okay. So note down this, then we will go for the graph. Most of the people are not able to understand the graph, are not able to solve the questions related to the graph. That we are going to concentrate now. Okay, graphs, if I explain, then you will be understanding the photoelectric effect completely. Okay. So normally there is a misconcept because of the wrong concept introduced to you in the Planck's theory. Okay. Here let us take, this is one electron, and one electron can take only one photon. This is the very minute thing people lose and don't understand. One electron cannot capture more than one photon. Okay. And one, whatever the energy given available in the photon is completely transferred to, electron. Okay. So let us take on the x-axis first and very easiest graph. First and a very easiest graph. So which here we can take the energy also. Okay. Here we can take the frequency also to decrease. Here I am writing the kinetic energy. What I am writing here? Kinetic energy. Is it understood? To decrease the number of graph and to decrease the confusion, I am taking energy or free, or these are not both. Okay. If they are both, then it will give something related to the wavelength. Understood? Now, as I told you, the minimum energy required, then only the ejection of electron starts. Okay. So let us take the ejection of electron is starting from this minimum energy. Okay. So this energy is called as what? Threshold energy or work function. Work function is also called as threshold energy. But kinetic energy, I told you, at when given energy is exactly equal to threshold energy. Okay. Here ET. This is what ET. Understood? That time see here, you can check here kinetic energy is how much? 0. But as soon as the energy increased, then kinetic energy will start increases. Then kinetic energy will start increases. Okay. Simply you can compare this with the help of the C here. This is E is equal to, but I have to modify this. Kinetic energy plus kinetic energy plus kinetic energy plus, okay, just a minute. Kinetic energy plus threshold energy. Okay. So here Y is equal to, see here, intercept will be like this. It is extrapolated. Okay. Now this is C. What is this? This is C and this will be mx. Okay. Now we are taking in terms of the energies. We are taking the in terms of energies. Here it is kinetic energy. Okay. Just, just a minute. Here it will be kinetic energy. To compare this, as comparison is somewhat wrong. Okay. Now it is. Hmm. Given energy is equal to kinetic energy plus threshold energy, otherwise ET. Okay. So here on y-axis it should be ET. So ET on a y-axis it should be kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is equal to E minus ET. Okay. See here y. Okay. And intercept y is equal to mx plus c. mx plus c. Now it is exactly suitable. Okay. On x-axis we are taking energy and slope here it is equal to 1. That means this angle will be 45. Okay. If energy I am talking about, it is not when frequency. And intercept, you can see negative intercept. This is the negative intercept. Okay. So this is about the threshold energy. Energy value will be positive, intercept will be negative. Okay. So don't have misconcept about the negative energy, how it is possible. Okay. So this is the first graph. And if I write the same thing in terms of the frequency, it is going to be h nu is equal to kinetic energy plus h nu t. That time this will be you have to divide entire the equation with the h, then you will get the in terms of the frequency. Okay. So this is the graph with respect to energy or frequency. Okay. Now if I take the intensity, if i take the intensity then what will be the effect on kinetic energy? What will be the effect on kinetic energy? Okay, here we can see h nu is equal to ke plus half. Just now I told you number photon and each electron can capture one photon only. Actually, intensity is nothing but number of photons. Intensity definitions. Normally, people think that intensity, I know, blur and very higher color. That is not used here. That's why understanding the concept and applying on the graph is very important. Okay. So number of photon per second. Okay. Number of photon emitted per second. So by increasing intensity, I am not changing the energy. Okay. So kinetic energy purely depends on the energy of the photon. Here I am increasing the photon does not mean that electron will take more photon. Is it understood? I give more photons, more electron will be emitted. That's why this is going to be constant. Okay. It is going to be what? Constant. Is this understood? If you got any doubt, you can ask. Okay. Now, but the same graph, here I am taking the intensity only. I am taking the intensity only, but here I am writing the number of electron. That time, the first thing you should remember, that will pass through the origin and directly proportional. See, more intensity means number of photons will be more electron will capture that photon, more electron will come out, provided that photon energy is more than the threshold energy, then only this relation is applicable. Is this understood? Note down these three graphs, then we will go for the some other topic. Okay. Okay, very important topics. here these are the important topics at the end of this quantum numbers. Quantum numbers you will never be able to understand from the textbooks or notes, that need to be explained through the video lectures only. Okay, same problem with the hydrogen spectra. So don't miss and be available till last. Okay, so I am writing only important postulates where people are doing mistakes just because of the wrong way of study. Suppose these are given to you in the books, you will just by heart, but the question will be in the some other way. Okay, first of all, radius of nth orbit is equal to 0.0529, and this is in terms of the angstroms. Okay, in terms of the angstrom unit, you have to be very careful. First thing, you have to be unit very careful. And suppose what they will say, assuming that hypothetical situation, if I add a proton to the existing nucleus, if I add a proton to the existing nucleus, then radius of fifth orbit will increase by 25 times, decreases by 25 times, increases by 5 times, decreases by 5 times. Like that they will give. Okay, but when you go through the questions, theory from the notes or textbooks, what you will feel, I know this formula, I will be able to do that. Okay, so here what you have to manage and what you have to understand, what you have to apply is radius is inversely proportional to z, where z is number of protons. So if I am increasing, adding proton, that means I am increasing the atomic number. That's why I told you it is hypothetical. Okay, so hypothetical means it may not be possible. So you have to imagine in from your side. Okay, so z is increasing, r will decrease. Okay, and there is no square. So if I am increasing the proton by 5, automatically radius will decrease by how many times? By 5 times. Okay, so and but it is not exactly value. If it is, you won't divide because there is some multiplication factor. Okay, is it understood? But when you are times, then it will be cancelled. Same way, if I am increasing the changing the orbit number, okay, then there will be change by the square of that, directly proportional to square of the orbit number or energy level number. Okay, and same way velocity is directly proportional to atomic number, inversely proportional to orbit number. That means the electron in the smaller orbit will move very faster. The electron in the larger orbit will move very slow. Is it understood? Why? Because of the influence of the nucleus. Once it is nearby the nucleus, then definitely it will make it to run speed. Okay, run with faster. Understood? Then energy of electron, and here also very misconcepts. Okay, see, this 13.6 is applicable only for one atom and in electron volt. That is the thing you have to remember. And here both are square, directly proportional to atomic number square and inverse proportional to energy level square. If we are converting into, here electron volt can be converted into joules, then you will get this value. It is minus 18. Okay, and per atom. Is it understood? And very important relation. Okay, for chemistry purpose, in physics the derivation you will be having, but people think that we have studied much better derivation in the physics. Okay, in chemistry this is sufficient. Total energy is exactly equal to kinetic energy, but total energy is negative. Not kinetic energy is negative. Kinetic energy is always positive. So once you write positive value with negative sign, the result will be negative. So total energy of electron is always negative. And total energy is not more than the potential energy. Total energy is half of the potential energy. Okay. So note down this. Then we will go for the further questions, further topics. Okay, next is hydrogen spectrum. See here, this is the nucleus, okay? And here the main thing you should remember is the spacing between the energy level, okay? So based on that, so many times questions are asked and every time there are chances. The gap between the first and second energy level is higher, then you can see the gap is reduced, okay, then you can see gap is further reduced, gap is further reduced, further reduced, further reduced, okay. So the gap between 2 and 1 greater than gap between, why this gap is in directly proportional to energy, inversely proportional to wavelength, and directly proportional to frequency, okay. So 3 and 2, 4 and 3, and 5 and 4, like that it will keep on changes, okay. So this is the gap between two successive energy level, okay. Now electron is supposed to be here, let us take electron is supposed to be here, okay. If it stays there only, if it stays there only, then the energy is going to be constant, okay. Energy is going to be what? Constant, understood. But if we are giving some energy, if we are giving some green energy, okay, if we are giving some green energy, so then that energy is sufficient, then it will go to that energy level, okay. But electron cannot stay at that energy level for a longer time. It has to come back to the same original place, but while coming back, this is what the people are missing. It will come back, that everybody know, but it may or may not come back in the one step, okay. So always make sure that think that the going from the lower energy level to the higher energy level will always be a single step process, but coming back may not be a single press step process. That's why question was, why electron can cause, why electron can cause, electron can cause more than one spectral line, okay, one spectral line. Is it understood? The reason is it can come back to the original space in more than one step, but always you will find this only single step process, okay, because we are giving energy in single step, so it will absorb the energy and accordingly it will decide, okay, with the available energy where I can go. Sometimes if available energy is not sufficient to excite to the next energy level also, that time the migration will be zero. Migration will be zero. Understood? If you are giving more energy, then more excitation can takes place. Is it understood? Now let us take an electron was here. An electron was here. It is jumped to the highest possible energy level, then it may come back, then it may come back to the original level in more than one step, in more than how many step? One step. So there are chances that there will be more than one electromagnetic wave emission, okay. So it can come back in this way. That time number of spectral line will be only one. It can come back here, it can come back here, it can come back here, and it can come back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All four will have the different energies. Once they have the different energies, what will happen? Different energy corresponds to different wavelength. Different wavelength corresponds to different frequency. So once frequency and wavelength are different, they will lie in the different places in the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay. So that's why one electron can cause more than one spectral line in the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, is it understood? So that's why when initially hydrogen was taken as a consideration, okay, what is the basic reason why hydrogen is taken as a consideration? Because of its simplicity. Because of its simplicity. Okay, it contains only one electron, so that scientists thought that I will be completing this task very easy because it contains one electron. Okay, but he was not aware of this fact. What is that fact? One electron can cause more than one spectral line. Okay, then slowly number of scientists have increased. Okay, so first Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, Brackett, Piffand, and Humphrey. Okay, so Lyman series, Balmer series, Paschen series, Brackett series, Piffand series, and Humphrey series. So these many scientists have involved themselves just to study the simplest atom in the world. What is the simplest atom in the world? Hydrogen, because it simply contains only one electron, one proton, even not a single neutron. But still, you can understand how difficult it is to study higher spectrum. So nobody after that dare to form the spectrum of other atoms. Okay. So here it is N1, here it is N2. This is the wear zone. Okay. So Lyman, it can come from anywhere, but it should come back to the what N1 is what 1. N2 can be from 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay. So like that you can keep on filling. Understood? So this is the ultraviolet. There is only one series which is in ultraviolet, and first series seen with naked eye will be Balmer series. Okay, because Balmer series was found in the visible. Rest all are infrared only. Infrared, far infrared. So this table you will everywhere get, and you may not get the questions on the table. Okay. So formula is also very simply 1 upon lambda is equal to 1 upon lambda is equal to, or it is equal to nu bar, wave number is equal to RH, Rydberg constant. Okay, this formula everybody knows. That's why 1 upon n1 square minus n2 square into z square. Okay, and you should make sure that this z should be of the hydrogen like. Hydrogen like. So if you write it for the beryllium, will it be applicable? No, it is not applicable for the beryllium. It should be beryllium 3 positive. Is it applicable for lithium? No, it is applicable for lithium plus 2 only. It should contain only one electron. This Bohr spectrum or hydrogen spectrum is applicable only for substances or atoms containing single electron. Okay, single electron. Okay, next very useful tricks. That's why I told you from that tabular form if you study, you may not score because questions will be in the different format. Okay, so first of all, with the N1 value, you will find out the series name. Okay, series name you will find out from, series name will give you information about what N1 value. Okay, the problem comes when N2, problem comes with the N2 value only because N2 values are so many. Okay, so here what to take N2. Okay, if they say last line or limiting line, who will come last, who is coming from the largest distance, that time n2 you will take as a infinity. Okay, so all these keywords you should remember. Last line, wavelength corresponding to last line, wavelength corresponding to limiting line, wavelength corresponding to the limiting line. otherwise wavelength corresponding to, okay. Last line means energy will be highest, so frequency will be highest, wavelength will be lowest. Understood? So lowest wavelength in the Balmer series, spectral line corresponding to lowest wavelength. That time N to how much you will substitute? Infinity. So infinity will be there when they mention either last line, when they mention limiting line, when they mention higher energy, when they mention higher frequency, when they mention lowest wavelength. These are the conditions where you will take low n2 is equal to 0. Okay. And n2 is equal to will be n1 plus 1. N1 you will find out from here. So n1 plus 1 will be n2 value. Okay. When it will be? When they mention corresponding to first spectral line. When they mention spectral line corresponding to alpha line. Or when they mention lowest energy. When they mention lowest frequency. When they mention highest wavelength. Okay. So these are the wavelength, frequency and energies. Understood? That time you will take N1 is equal, N2 is equal to N1 plus 1. Understood? Then coming to the second line. Second line will be very simple. N2 is equal to N1 plus 2. Okay. N1 plus 2. Now most problem comes just because of this not studying concept, one student got 5 marks less than the expected. Okay, so because of that 5 marks, instead of NIT he have to take private college seat and spending lakhs of rupees with no future. Okay, so one question can change your life. Understood? So first, for example, if electron is de-excited from the second excited state, from the second excited state to ground state. Okay, question was electron was de-excited. Electron was de-excited from second excited state to ground state. So immediately he thought that N2 I will take as 2, but N2 is what? 3. Okay, because ground state means N1 is equal to 1. N2 will be 2 plus 1, that is 3, second excited state. So you have to be very careful. Ground state, first excited state is not 1, is 2. Second excited state is 3. Like that, these are the tricks you should follow. Otherwise, you keep on studying, but your score may not be directly proportional to your studies. Okay. So all tricks, just make a note of it. Okay, next one is dual nature. Every particle, especially those particle, their two characteristic it should follow. Okay. Dual nature is not available with everyone. Particle should be microscopic. Particle should be what? Microscopic. Okay. And second thing, it should be having ultra speed velocity. Velocity should not be zero and size should be less. Okay, then only the dual nature is significant. It is not that dual nature is not there. It is there, but it is negligibly how much it is? Zero. Understood? So if any microscopic particle, that's why it is applicable to neutron also, it is applicable to proton also, it is applicable to electron also, provided they are accelerated with some speed. Okay, what is must? A rest electron. Suppose what is the de Broglie wavelength for a electron at rest? You cannot specify because what is zero? Velocity is zero. What is the wavelength corresponding to a truck? Then also it is negligibly zero. Why? Because which is not following what is that? Microscopic. It is not a microscopic particle. So to study about the wave characteristic, to study about the wave characteristics associated with a given substance, we must see two conditions must be satisfied. What are those two conditions? The very first condition is it should be microscopic and the velocity must be high. But if you go formula wise, see the fun. Here it says that mass and velocity both are inversely proportional to wavelength, but practically it is not so. So every time just by hearting the formulas will not give you the clear concepts. Okay. So this formula says something, practical appearance, practical application is something else. Okay. And that exception also we can explain. Simply mass is more less dominating with respect to velocity. Velocity is the most dominating factor influencing the de Broglie wavelength. Okay. Lambda here it is a de Broglie wavelength. Lambda is equal to h upon mv or lambda is equal to h upon p. Okay. So these are the very old formulas, less important. Nowadays, currently we are using this formula h upon square root of 2m ke. Okay. And in this also they started changing the terminology. Okay. So what is that? Accelerating. Okay. Accelerating potential. There are two terms of they are using, accelerating potential, and sometimes they will say stopping potential. You will study more better in the physics, but I will take this opportunity to complete this also here. Understood? So what is accelerating? Suppose here this is the electron here. Okay. If I give the positive charge at this place, what charge? Positive charge at this place. Then what happens? This will attract, and because of this potential the electron speed is increasing. So that's why whenever it is increasing, then it is called as a accelerating potential. But to the same electron I am applying another plate. But this time it is having the negative. Okay. So electron was moving in this direction, but I am giving the negative. So because of that, that speed will be decreased and at some place it will stop here itself. That's why this potential is called as a stopping potential. Okay. So both will cause the variation in velocity. Variation in velocity will affect its kinetic energy. Understood? So that's why this formula also very important in terms of the accelerating potential, in terms of the stopping potential. Value will be same, sign will be opposite. Negative for negative, positive will be accelerating potential, negative will be stopping potential. Okay, just make a note of it, then we will go for the next topic. Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and here also it is not applicable everywhere. Heisenberg uncertainty principle is applicable only for the microscopic particle moving with high velocity like electron, and according to this it is impossible to find exact location and exact momentum, okay, of electron or microscopic particle moving with high velocity simultaneously, not one after another. Okay. So delta x into delta p greater than or equal to h upon 4 pi. Is this understood? So this is not applicable for stationary object. These are applicable only for those particle like electron which are small in size and but moving with the high velocity. Understood? So delta x into here it will be delta V into mass. Understood? There is no uncertainty in mass. So you need not to keep it here. So you can take that side h upon 4 pi m. Okay. And one more thing people forget to read. This is the principle used to prove, okay, proof electron cannot exist in nucleus. Okay, it cannot exist where nucleus. So this was the one time question. Okay, So reason, assertion question and more than one correct questions are very dangerous. Okay. So previously more than one correct, now it is applied in the mains also. Just suppose three answers are correct in the advance, then he will say correct option in the following. So that one correct it will become. Understood? So note down this de Broglie Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay, quantum number. Most frequently asked and most wrong answers are given in this one only. Okay. So quantum numbers are the numbers which are address, like internet having IP address, individual having postal address, like that electron also having quantum numbers. It is an address code. Okay, like pin code, it is address code. And it is of how many digits? It is of the 4 digits. Okay. So what is the first digit? Principal quantum number N, second azimuthal quantum number L, and it is also called as angular quantum number, and here it is M, magnetic quantum number, and S is the spin quantum number. Okay. N value will always be from 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay. As of now, it went up to the 7. And but L is completely depend on the N. After asking N only, L will start, and L will start always from the 0, and it will end at L value will be 0 to N minus 1, and M values will be, okay, M values will be depending on the L. What are that? Minus L to 0, 0 to plus L. Okay, minus L to 0 and 0 to plus L. And spin quantum number is completely independent. It is always plus 1 by 2, plus or minus 1 by 2. So don't worry about this spin quantum number. You should worry mostly about there is no classical analog with the principal spin quantum number. Okay. Now L values. L value, suppose here n is equal to 1. So L can be only 0. L0 corresponds to S and it is 1S. Okay. Now here if it is n is equal to 2, L can be 0, L can be 1. Here this formula 0 to 2 minus 1, 1. So this corresponds to 2S, this corresponds to 2P. Here n is equal to 3, so 0, 1 and 2. And 0 corresponds to 3S, 1 corresponds to 3P, 2 corresponds to 3D. That's why 3D is not introduced in the second energy level. Okay. Same way n is equal to 4, that time L will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. So 0 stands for 4S, 1 stands for 4P, 2 stands for 4D and 3 stands for 4F. Okay. These are the L values. And accordingly M values. It is only 0, so 0. And it is also 0. Plus 1, minus 1 and 0. Okay. 0. And here it will be plus 1, 0, minus 1. Here it will be plus 2, plus 1, 0, minus 1 and minus 2. Same way here everything repeated as it is just like here. But extra what you will get? 4F will be plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, 0, plus 1. Sorry, it is minus 1, it is minus 2, minus 3. Okay, so 7 values will be there in the F orbital. Understood? So mostly theory studying is not much important in the quantum number. Questions are very, very important. Okay, so understanding theory is here easy. Like photoelectric, I told you, the graphs is very important in the quantum number. Questions in the different models. Different models are very, very important. Okay. Note down this. Spin quantum number is the best form of the quantum number, which is equal to plus or minus 1 by 2. Plus or minus what? 1 by 2. There are two independent quantum numbers. Who are those? Those are principal quantum number and spin quantum number. They are completely independent. But angular momentum quantum number depends on principal quantum number. Magnetic momentum quantum number depends on angular momentum quantum number. Okay, all of them are dependent on one on the other. Okay, noted. Then we will study some rules for writing the electronic configuration. Okay, now rules of writing electronic configuration. Okay, here half bow stands for building up. It is not the scientist name, building up. Okay, so according to this, first we should fill up the 1s, then 2s, 2p, like this. Every book you will find this diagram. It is not a magic, you can also do it. Okay, so this is not much important because most of the student already know. Okay, first you should fill this, then you should fill this, then you should fill this, then like this is the sequence of filling. But in between, if they give how to decide, for that two scientists worked together. Bohr's-Bury rule. Bohr's-Bury rule says that find out their n plus L. Suppose you have energy level A and energy level B. You are confusing that which is to be filled. Okay. So then suppose A's n plus L value is less, B's n plus L value is more. Then A filled first. A filled first. Okay. A fill first. Fill which one fast? A. Okay. Then whichever n plus L value is more, so fill later. When you will fill it later. Is it understood? This is about the Bohr-Bury rule. But sometimes if A is equal to B, n plus L value of A is equal to B, then what you will do? Then you will compare the n value. Okay. So n value of A is less than n value of B. Then A fill first. Okay. Then B is filled later. B, when it is filled, B will be filled later. Okay. So this is about the half bow and Bohr's theory. I think it is clear to you. Now Pauli's rule, if you study, you should study it with complete name, exclusion. Pauli's exclusion principle. Hund's rule is called as a maximum multiplicity. What it is called as? Maximum multiplicity. Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Pauli's rule says that no two different electron can have same set of quantum numbers. Same set of quantum numbers. Okay. Quantum number. Now next one is Hund's rule, if it is applicable only for the degenerate. People are preparing for the advanced but they don't know the meaning of degenerate. Okay. Degenerate means same energy. Same energy will be there only in the same subshell. This is 2p subshell. They will only have same energy. You cannot say 2s is degenerate with 2p. Okay. So this cannot be applicable between these two. So first electron is to be occupied successively. Then pairing must be done. Then what must be done? Pairing must be done. Okay. Electrons are to be paired before all orbitals are, before that all degenerate orbital must be singly occupied. That is the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Okay. So these are the statements. Nowadays the trend is that they will violate rule and they will ask, I have violated which rule? Under which rule you are asking that I am doing a wrong. So violation rules are very, very important. Okay. You will be given with a configuration of the wrong configuration, but you have to prove under what rule it is wrong. Understood? So that type of question we will be discussing in our question session. This was a theory session. That's why I covered almost all theory. From the atomic structure, I tried to cover maximum concept as it is the complete revision. Okay.